Hello and welcome again. Now we'll talk about why we need to define function. Why use function? Um, uh, Actually, it helps. It makes the code easier to read. Okay, it makes the code easier to read. Avoid repeating code. You don't have to type the code, same code again and again. What you can do, you can just call the method. So you write one time and read many times. Okay, so we call it warm. Write once and read many. So that is warm. This is the uh, acronym of write once, read many times. So, and you can break the large task into similar reusable parts because in a general rule that your program should not be more than 30 lines. It should be less than 30 lines or less than 20 lines. Uh, Less the code in a function is better. You can have a control on that. So this was the reason for having a function. Okay. Now, so this is an example. We have in this example, what is happening is everything is in one big function. Okay, it works fine, but it is harder to read and reuse. So for example, this is the main method. Okay, in the main method, we are having a variable, b variable, we are getting the two numbers, and then addition is there. We are adding and storing the result into this variable. We are subtracting and storing the result in the subtraction. We are multiplying and doing the same stuff here. Here we are dividing. If the b is not 0, then we can divide. We can divide and we get the division. Else, we can send a message. Division by 0 is not allowed. Okay, if it is 0. And then we are looking for the minimum number. If a is less than b, then minimum is a. Other and maximum is b, else minimum is b and maximum is a. And then we are trying to print all the values that we have calculated here. And this is what we are calling the main method. This is what we are calling the main method from this method. So you see here, this is just one big program. Reading the input, this is one part. Addition is another part. Okay, and then printing is another part. So if I just copy paste this code for to see the output, so I can just copy paste the code and I can run it. So first number is like 5 and the second number is 7, and then you will see that. Okay, so we have addition is 12 and subtraction is -2, and 7 5 is 35, and division is like 5 divided by 7. We got something like that. Minimum is 7. Sorry, minimum is 5, maximum is 7. So this is what it is doing in this part. Now let's go and check. Now we have another. So we are using separate functions for every part. So what we're going to do is, so for example, this is my input. So what I can do is I can write a method. So I can take this part and I can put them into a separate method. And I can say, okay, define get input, like that. And in this one, I can write these methods, write these statements. And once I got the two values, what I can do is I can return a comma b. I can return the two values. So this method will return two values that we are reading from here. Now, what is the next part? Add. Okay, so what I can do is I can say I will have an add method. So define add method. And this will take two values, a and b, and it will return, the colon is there, and it will return a plus b. Okay. Similarly, I can define a subtract method. Subtract method. It will take a and b, two values, and it will return a minus b. We can have multiply, minus. So okay, I say subtract. In my example, it says minus. Okay, I can put minus. Define multiply, MULT, A and B, two values, and then colon and return A multiplied by B. Okay, then we have a divide. I can say divide. I can say div as well. No problem. A comma B and colon return. Now return what you want to do. Return A by B. This is interesting. We are learning a new part, new if statement here. So based on the condition, it will return the value. Return A by B if B is not equal to 0. Okay, B is not equal to 0, then return this one. Else, so I'm going to say else. I will not use the colon. In this is just one line. I will not use the colon. Else, just send a message. Divide by 0, not allowed. Okay. Okay, divide by 0. So just write a message, display a message, divide by 0. I don't want to go to the next line. That's it. And then we have a defined minimum, min, AB, A and B. So I can return the same thing, return. This is much faster. It will return A if A is bigger than, minimum. A is less than B. Okay. Else B. That's it. A maximum, define max. It will take A comma B. Okay. Return A if A is bigger than B. Else B. There you go. So division is done. Now we can come for the display method. Okay. So define display. Display what? A comma B. A comma B. So how you want to do that? So I will say print. In this method, I can say format string and what you want to print. So first of all, I'll go for the addition. I'll say addition. And then I have expression. I can put expression or I can put function or I can put variable. Anything I can do. So I have a method add and I can pass the value A and B, which is available here. So I can say add A comma B. A comma B. So so we have done with this part. Okay, we have done this part. Addition is done. If statement is done. You see that we have if statement like this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. But here we have the shortcut. So we just ignore all the bigger lines. And then we have this addition and division. We are okay. I can take this part. I can take this part. I can remove this one. And I can say, okay, so in this part, I can say this is addition. Okay, I'm done with the addition part basically. Now I can go for the subtraction. I have a sub method, minus method, minus A comma B. And then I can, so it will call this method with the two values and it will print the result. Similarly, mult, it will call mult with A comma B. It will call div method with A comma B, and minimum, I'll say minimum method with A comma B. I'm calling the max method with A comma B. And that's it. So what I'm going to say is so I will have a define main method. Okay, main method. In this main method, I will call the get input. Okay, I'll call this method get input. I'll call this method get input. Okay, this is calling get input. It will give me two values, huh? It is returning two value, a comma b. So I can store them into two variable. One more time, go back here. You see, this is returning two value, return a and b. So I can use the two variable. So it will return the value a and b. And then I can call the method display a and b. By the way, I forgot quotation here, colon here. So it is like display a and b, and that's it. Now what I can do is I can call the main method. So when I call the main method, it will go up there, it will get the input of two numbers, and then it will go to the display. In the display, it will keep on calling the method to display the result. Keep on calling, displaying the result. Keep on calling, displaying the result. So let's see what we can. So if I call the method, it will call the main method, and the something went wrong. AB in the max. Oh, I forgot the bracket here. Clear the message and run it again. There you go. So first number is 5 and the second number is 7. So basically I am in this method. So this method will return two values, 5 and 7. 5 will go to A and 7 will go to B. And I can say 7 here and I press enter, and you see that it is calling the display method, and the display method is writing the addition and then calling a method in the parentheses with the two values, 5 and 7. The result is 12. 5 minus 7 is minus 2. 7 multiplied by 5 is 35. And divided by 5 is this one. Okay, now for example, I said there, and I say 5, and the second value is 0. So this time, oh, did you see that? I got a message divided by 0. So looks like this part is working, divided by 0. And now if you see that 0 is the minimum, okay, 0 is the minimum value. And so when it comes here, it returns A. What is that A? A is 5. If A is less than B, so 5 is less than B, then it should return A. Else it will return B. So this time it returns 0, that is B. So it returns 0 here. And in this part, in the next example, in the next line, it returns A, the maximum value A, that is 5. If 5 is bigger than 0, if 5 is bigger than 0, the condition is true, yeah, it will return A. Else it will return B. So it returns A like that. So this is like, now if you see this function, so this is a separate code you are calling for input. These are the methods, separate methods. You are calling them whenever you need them. Okay. And this is the display method. You are having a print statement where you are printing the result and calling the method, whatever is required. So, and this is the main method. So we divided our main program into small chunks, into small programs. And some programs like one statement, some like one statement. Some with just, again, this is also one statement, with the if statement, return with if statement. So now if you see that, it makes it, your task is in separate functions. Addition is separate, minus is separate, multiply is separate, okay? They're all different functions, and making the code cleaner, reusable, and easier to update, easier to change. So this is the purpose of having separate functions. Okay, now we have another example. What is happening in this part? Only input and display. Okay. So we have no. So this is good for beginner level people who are starting learning the programming. So this code is a nice place for them to practice the functions basic. So this is small function for the input, as we have already seen that. Then we are having a simple display method. So we are just displaying the value of A and B. Okay, we are displaying the value of A and B. And this is the main function that we are calling. Main function we are calling get input. Get input. It returns two values. We are catching two values. And then we call the display method to display this one. And to do all these things, we have to call the main method. We have to call this main method. So if I can copy paste this code, I don't have to copy paste. I can just, so this is done. And now I'm on the display, okay, display AB. In this display, I want to display the value of A. I can say A is, and in this one, I can just type A. This is the variable I can type. And this is my B. And here I can just type B. And rest, I don't need it. And there I'm calling the input to get the two value, and then I'm using the display method to call this method and print the values. So this is very simple example for the beginner. If I just clear the method, now anything I will enter as in this program, 5 and 7, and it printed A as 5 and B as 7. You see here? So this main method basically call this method, which is calling this method and getting the two value, putting them into this part, and then calling the display method with these two parameters values, with these two arguments, and printing the two values here. So that's it for now. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.